Raktabij was a demon who would multiply into more Raktabijas when drops of his blood fell to the ground. To counter this, Kali decided to drink all his blood and eventually kill him, which is an innovative way of killing demons, but anyone could have just killed him by electrocuting him or poisoning him or a bunch of different ways that didn't involve dropping blood. Anyway, in Thamma, the Betals or vampires are offsprings of this aspect of Kali who drank Raktabij's blood. Or were those Betals who killed Raktabij by drinking his blood and Kali was merely their mother? I don't know. Either way, Betals came from that myth, and I think that's a rather interesting twist to the story of Betals. I like this backstory. I like this myth story that they showed us in the film. Unfortunately, this little story beat was the only thing I liked about Thamma. Almost everything else is lackluster. Thamma is a film about vampires. Except for the ability of these beasts to roam around in the sunlight, these monsters are vampires. And I'm tired of India borrowing from the West when we have a wealth of stories in our own country to borrow from. I've talked about this in another video of mine on another channel. It's a video about Loka chapter 1. If you're up for it, go watch that video. Here's the link. I won't be talking about this anymore because I'm tired. Look, Thamma is a film about a man who becomes a vampire and then deals with all the complications that follow this transformation. It's a common story trope. A man gains powers, fumbles, falls, makes things worse while trying to master these powers. And eventually he does master them and overcomes an external threat. It's a story that's been told hundreds of times before. The Tobey Maguire Spider-Man film, Iron Man, Shazam, Chronicle, The Mask, The Fly, Bruce Almighty, Carrie, Hollow Man, Robocop, The Matrix, Minnal Murli, Mr. India. Heck, there are hundreds of films with this trope. And yet I like this story trope. I don't know why, but I like it. And I like Thamma as well. I like the film in spite of it being a subpar film. Simply because it's a vampire film and because it's set in the Maddock universe. I like this film and yet I see all the problems this film has and I'm disheartened. Let's start with the most unnecessary parts of the film, the item songs. 3 of them, all unnecessary. Item songs in the past in those 3 films, they were somehow connected to the story. It meant something to have an item song in these 3 films. Here they're just there for decoration. They're there because Bollywood has almost always worked because of item songs. And that's the formula they're applying here as well. There's the Thamma himself, Ayushmann Khurrana. Ayushmann Khurrana is a newly turned vampire. He has no experience being a vampire. He has no knowledge, no understanding of this world of vampires. And yet he's suddenly their leader. I don't understand how that happened. How did someone so clearly wrong for the part become the apex predator of vampires? There's no logical progression to this ascension. And just to fit into this narrative of him being the chosen one, Ayushmann Khurrana's personality changes drastically in the last few minutes of the film. He goes from being a bumbling idiot who couldn't get a handle on his powers to a man who's extremely comfortable in this new skin and is ready to lead a bunch of ancient vampires to war. And then there are the jokes. The jokes all fall flat. I don't remember laughing at all while watching the film. I don't remember being afraid either while watching this film. Not once. This is a horror film and not being scared in a horror film it doesn't bode well for the film. And there's also the romance. Rasika Madan, the heroine, randomly falls in love with the first human she sees, Ayushmann Khurrana. And Ayushmann Khurrana declares his undying love for Rasika Madan because, wait, I don't know why either of them feels love, of all things, for each other. It's such an odd thing to feel for a total stranger. So this is a failed horror film, it's a failed comedy film, and it's a failed romantic film. Nothing in this film works. Wait, there's the villain. Nawazuddin Siddiqui is a vampire, an ancient vampire, one of the ancientest vampires, in fact. He's who all the other vampires came from, and his acting is hammy. It's exaggerated and not the kind that suits Nawazuddin Siddiqui. He didn't seem intimidating. He wasn't scary. He wasn't even comical. He was just bleh. I found it hard to buy into his role as Yakshasan. I was actually seeing Nawazuddin Siddiqui trying to act as Yakshasan and not Yakshasan doing Yakshasan things in the film. I could also complain about Paresh Rawal, whose acting I cannot fault, but the character was so motivationally confused. I could talk about how there's this one woman with Ayushman Khurrana and his friend in the forest, but then she's never seen again. I could complain about a bunch of things really, but I won't because mostly I've complained about all the important things. And I'm also tired. I'm tired of complaining and I want to watch a good Desi horror film like Stree or Stree 2. I just want something nice that'll make me happy. I didn't dislike Thamma. I just expected it to deliver the bare minimum Maddock films have promised. I don't know. I want to be happy watching these films and I'm not happy and that makes me sad.